College football Saturday kicks off here at pregame.tv with the SEC battle between Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Bryan Leonard, I wanted to talk to you about this game for the second straight Sunday. A&M has been one of the biggest movers in the first couple of hours after the line being posted. We saw it last week against Auburn. They open up around 9.5. They shoot up to 13 or 14 within just a few hours. Same thing here. In one book, it opened as low as 3.5 and climbed to 7 by the time Sunday night came around. So I'm not sure yet if the lines makers have caught on to the fact that how good this A&M offense can be with Kevin Sumlin calling the shots.
Yeah, it's not only the last few games. I mean, all season long, Texas A&M's taking some money. I think another thing that helps out the line movement, too, is because Mississippi State played Alabama last week. It didn't look very good. So a lot of people may have been betting against Mississippi State in this one. And I will, too. I'll lay the points here with Texas A&M. You take a look at the schedule for Mississippi State on the season. Here we go. Get all excited. Jackson State, Auburn, Troy, South Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee State. This is an SEC schedule. I mean, last week they finally played a decent team, and everything came out.
Well, that's what I was going to lead you with, is that, you know, before last week, before playing Alabama, Mississippi State had played this cream puff of a schedule that you don't normally see SEC so-called elite or upper division teams, because I don't want to call Miss State an elite SEC team, but upper division teams playing against. Brian just ran down the schedule. There was a reason on First Preview Radio that we were so heavily on Alabama, a lot of the guys that are on the show, in that matchup. And besides the fact that they played a soft schedule, when you saw Miss State go up against Tennessee, they gave up 213 yards rushing on 6.3 yards per carry to the Volunteers. And then, of course, last week, not only give up 38 points to Alabama, but A.J. McCarron hit 70% of his passes, and he throws for 9 yards per attempt. I mean, it was like he was going up against a MAC school almost. No offense, Brian, but I mean, that's what it looked like. So do you have to factor that in now that here's Miss State not only in this maybe a little bit of a bubble burst situation, but that cream puff of a schedule really catches up with them now?
Oh, absolutely. And if you think back at the beginning of the season when we were talking about the two teams coming from the Big 12 into the SEC, we said they're going to have trouble when they're facing these SEC defenses. I mean, they're going to clamp them down. And Mississippi State finally got to face a true SEC defense. They faced Tennessee earlier in the year, and Tennessee can't stop anybody. But you look at this Mississippi State team, and you look at Texas A&M, and Mississippi State, to me, is more like a Big 12 school than they are an SEC school. They can score points, they can't stop anybody. And you're going against a team, Texas A&M, that's their bread and butter, because Texas A&M can score a ton of points and they can score quickly. I think this plays right into your hands with Texas A&M.
And this is your best bet. We're going to get that in just a moment, but I'm going to ask you this, or talk about this at least. We saw Missouri move into the SEC, and they were getting ready for a big matchup in their first SEC home game several weeks ago against the Georgia Bulldogs. And leading up to that game, one of the players kept saying, SEC, that's old man football. Well, Missouri doesn't have the horses or the talent in this rebuilding year to back that up. It's a bit of an exaggeration, obviously, saying it's old man football, but Texas A&M is bringing a brand of football offensively that is more Big 12-like and not so much SEC-like. And right now, if it's not an elite defense like Alabama, LSU, or Florida, I'm not sure these schools know what to do against this Aggie offense. Brian, this is your best bet.
I'm laying it with Texas A&M here. You take a look at the way they played this season. Offensively, they've been terrific. They've had a real tough schedule compared to Mississippi State. They played Louisiana Tech, Florida, Mississippi, and LSU. And if you take a look at A&M on the road, they've outscored the opposition on the road 200-108. And that includes going into 2 SEC venues and also at Louisiana Tech, who's going to be a bowl participant. The only teams that they struggled against defensively were Florida and LSU. They had problems moving against those great defenses. Mississippi State is not in that area. So I like Texas A&M here. One team will put up a lot of points. It's probably be a high-scoring game here, but I do not like this Mississippi State team right now. I think they're very overvalued because of the cheap schedule they played.
Yeah, I think the schedule is catching up to them, and now they're going to pay for it. I'm with you on your best bet on the Texas A&M Aggies minus the points. When we come back, don't miss out, because Mr. Pittsburgh here is going to talk about the Pitt-Notre Dame battle. We're going to find out if Notre Dame can handle going from the hunter to the hunted. All that and more coming up right here at pregame.tv.